Indigo. I can see you now. It's been a while. How have you been?
Hey, Dr. Warner. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for making time to see me. I've just been thinking about some stuff.
Well, what kind of stuff?
You know, just like how the books that I've read have shaped me. It's a lot to think about, and I'm not sure how they have.
Continue.
Well, you see, I don't really enjoy a lot of reading, but at times I stumble upon a book that I really enjoy. It's just, how can something so small and minute affect and change me in such big ways? Like when I was younger, for example, I had to go through AR reading, which is a reading program implemented in a lot of public schools around the US. And that really messed me up. I overanalyze everything, and I mean everything. Because of it, I'm scared of missing a point. I can't enjoy reading without being worried that I'm missing something.
Okay, Indigo. Let's do a little exercise. Oh yes, A Wrinkle in Time. How has this well-known novel affected you?
This book is probably what caused me to be so careful when reading. It was one of my first AR reading books. Failed that test for sure. However, it is at times good to be analytical, but this book, it was a shadow. Nothing but a shadow. Laneige, page 67. This book just caused a storm.
The next book I picked is Much Ado About Nothing. I know it isn't really a book, but you strike me as a Shakespearean person. Here, let me show you.
I guess you could say that. I fell in love with this place. So much so that I took a trip to England to visit his hometowns. The way he wrote, God, for instance, just, must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a kind of married betwixt war between Signor Benedict and her. And they never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them. Shakespeare, page 3. My overanalyzing came in handy while reading his plays.
Interesting. I took a wild guess. How do you feel about the Pride and Prejudice?
You actually think I've read this?
Fair enough. Not many people like to. What about this coming of age book? John Green seems to be a huge hit for teens nowadays.
Yeah. I guess in some ways, yeah. I mean, I personally found The Fault in My Stars pretty dry and boring. But Looking for Alaska was different. My depression was really bad when I read that, so the connection I had with this was a strong one. I had friends like Miles and even had some Alaskas in my life who sadly are no longer with us. This is probably one of the first novels I've ever had a positive connection with. However, reading to me is like the labyrinth that's in the book. I feel stuck in the labyrinth.
This last book, The English Patient. Interesting read, right? Really strikes my fancy.
Well, yes, I like that book. It kept you guessing. I just wish there were more books that made me feel like when moments before sleep or when she feels most alive, leaping across fragments of the day. Andante, page 35. I just still don't understand how they have affected me, especially books I've read for school, which always seem so boring and pointless.
Well, for one, as I can tell, you're an analytical thinker. You take in every detail, even when you don't have to, which in turn causes some pain and irritation while reading. But in the end, it creates a good eye for detail, something many people don't achieve or have. As well as you know what you like when it comes to reading, which can also be irritating, but comes in handy when you actually find a good book to sit down and read.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, but hopefully I won't be as picky in a few years, because I really am a picky reader. I mean, hopefully both of these things will be helpful in college, but for now I just stick to my short books and poems. Once again, thank you for seeing me on such short notice. I'll see you next week for our normal appointment.